Hey guys, how's it going? My aha moment for this week comes from page 263, and it talks about how groups need structure. The part that I thought was really interesting is the part that talks about when groups don't have structure. And it talks about how there were some researchers who observed natural occurring discussion, and they found that um, that group interaction is inefficient and off task, and group members prematurely focus on solutions rather than analyzing the issues. This is the biggest one that I've noticed in previous groups I've been in. The group often jumps at the first solution mentioned. And number four is group members hop from one idea or proposal to the next without seeing the larger issues. That is Those last two are the biggest ones that I've seen in previous groups. Um, Usually it's because when you're doing a school project, people kind of just want to get it over with. Sometimes it's not good though because it's at the expense of a good quality assignments. The next question is to paraphrase concepts in the book. Um, the first thing Well, if I was going to explain this to somebody who doesn't know anything about speech communication, I would talk to them about how groups need structure and they need to stay on task. And they need to do this because they need to be able to accurately define problems and find solutions for those problems. There's lots of tools that you can use to do that. The book talks about the is not analysis, which is basically asking the group, are we investigating something that's worth investigating? Then there's the journalist 6 questions, which are always good. They give us a general knowledge, understanding of what's going on: who, how, where, what, and why. And then I would talk about some ways you can do this is by focusing on questions. A lot of the suggestions in the book talk about how question-oriented approaches to problem solving can be effective. And pretty much all of these things are used to add structure to a group, because once the group loses that structure, it becomes ineffective, like I talked about before. The next question is an example of problem solving used in social media. The biggest one that I've seen comes from the defining the problem part of the book, and it talks about the Pareto charts, or the Pareto principle, which is that the source of 80% of the problem comes from 20% of the incidents. And I think that this can be good or bad. Most of the news that we hear on TV or on Facebook comes from 20% of the population making a big uproar about it. A big one, and I used this before, is the gun rights. The media is focusing a lot of attention on a really small portion of our country that really wants more legislation on guns. And it doesn't necessarily reflect Americans' attitudes towards guns at all. It just means that the 20% have made enough of an impact to get enough media coverage to make it look like it's a lot more than it is. I feel like that one is used the most, but I also feel like in the book it talks about the fishbone diagram, the cause and effect diagram, where it analyzes the effects and tries to find the causes. So, for example, the effects of the shooting down in Florida, people, teenagers are going to the Capitol and protesting guns. Okay, so what are the causes? We know one of the causes was the actual shooting itself. Maybe another cause would be the media attention that they're getting, or the support that they're getting from various groups. Um, but there's lots of reasons, and analyzing the causes is an important thing to do.